Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Disney collection, in which, for this part, we will look at animated Buena Vista and Walt Disney Pictures titles. And Movie&GameLover98 will join us shortly. Now, originally I was going to split part 2 and 3 into parts, where part 2 we would do Buena Vista and part 3 we would do Walt Disney Pictures, but because of the show going on next week, I'm actually going to show off the Buena Vista and Walt Disney Pictures titles for part 2 here that are animated. And then for the last part 3, on May 17th, we will do the live action Buena Vista and Walt Disney Pictures titles. Along with a couple of 2D animated 3D animated Pixar films for part 3. Oh, speaking of which, here he is.
Hey, look, let's see, the topic is we're going to be doing the Walt Disney home media collection.
The animated Buena Vista and Walt Disney Pictures titles.
Yes, and what other title to start off with this era? With the Buena Vista one first, Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Also, hopefully just to make it go faster, we could just show one version at a time.
Yes. Here is the original 1987 Black Diamond Classics edition.
And I'm holding the 2012 Diamond Edition Blu-ray. I do have 2 other versions of Lady and the Tramp. The first one, yes, we all know this released back in June 1955, because next year will mark its 70th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yep, released back in June 1955, and this Diamond Edition Blu-ray is from 2012, like I said, but you're showing the 1987 version first.
This has a sticker label, and this has the diamond at the top of the label and the title in the middle. And there are some copies that switch the label with the title at the top and the diamond in the middle for some copies. But this has the original label. And
Yep. Luckily, we made the right choice to combine this era and Walt Disney Pictures logo era in one, because I've noticed you have a show next week on Friday.
Yes.
So the next 2 weeks we'll be doing a different era.
Yeah, but that's not the only version of Lady and the Tramp that I have.
I guess show one version at a time, even though I thought we were going to show one version just to save time, because both you and I have Lady and the Tramp.
Oh.
Well, we'll just show it up just because I know you have so many versions of this animated version of Lady and the Tramp.
I also have the 1998 fully restored Masterpiece Edition.
I do have that VHS, but I'm not going to bother with it. Maybe like when we do the next few parts, which is basically showing off live action Disney stuff, just mainly only live action Disney stuff, we could show bonus stuff.
Okay. One of Disney. Yeah. And as I've already said, this is the first animated film to be in the Buena Vista era, and
it's also the very first Disney animated film to be an anamorphic widescreen.
Yeah, the next one being Sleeping Beauty, which we'll probably show that one next.
Animated Disney films from this era and Walt Disney Pictures logo era only.
Yes, that's for this part. For part 3, it's for live action for part 3.
Okay, so I'm just going to move live action Disney out of the way. Even though some hybrid films do have live action animation, so we're just going to do completely animated only, but yeah. There's the label.
We're going to do fully animated features, and then for part 3, we'll do live action features with a few that are live action and animation hybrid, and a couple of Pixar films will be shown in part 3 as well.
That could also do the trick, but yeah. And of course, here's my Diamond Edition. Well, we know what it was released. The Diamond Edition Blu-ray of Lady and the Tramp from 2012, which I'm probably going to might get the 2018 Blu-ray because I like how that one, the Buena Vista logo might be fixed.
Well, on the on this VHS of Lady and the Tramp, the Masterpiece Edition, the Buena Vista logo is intact.
But I think that one does show the Walt Disney Pictures logo at the beginning as well.
Yes, before it.
Okay, but yeah, Lady and the Tramp, the first one. Like I said, guilty pleasure to have in my collection, but I won't watch this ever again. I think what I'll do in honor of the film's turning, 70 years old next year in June 2025, I'll just watch its sequel, Scamp's Adventure, which, like I said, direct-to-home media sequels, I actually do have one of the direct-to-video or home media sequels, Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure.
And unlike the first film, which has Barbara Luddy doing the voice of Lady, this here has Jodie Benson do Lady.
Oh, who'd you say was Lady, the voice of Lady in the original?
Barbara Luddy.
Barbara Luddy. So it's a different. Okay, yeah. So it's a Barbara Lady who voices Lady in the original, but this one she's voiced by Ariel's voice actress Jodie Benson.
Yes. And we also got some. Believe it or not, Bill Fagerbakke, the voice of Patrick Star, voices one of the dogs in this film too.
Yep, that'd be the dog Mooch from one of the the gang of junkyard dogs. He's kind of like Bear from the Bear of the Big Blue House. Mooch, voiced by Patrick's voice actor Bill Fagerbakke. Mooch, who can barely keep his eyes open. He's kind of like Bear from Bear in the Big Blue House, except he's voiced by Bill Fagerbakke. And we also got, get this, I like how the baby toddler boy Junior does not act like a spoiled baby brat in this movie. Not even so much. Unlike in the original, when he was just a newborn baby, he kept crying over these chaos things.
Yeah, and
especially like in the first one, it's normal for it to happen when the baby's born, but when they start causing chaos with the Siamese cats and with the fish tank,
it kind of drags on for too long.
But luckily, it just waits a few minutes, and then of course, like towards the climax, it happens a third time when the rat sneaks into the room and Tramp tries to get that rat out of there, and it scares the baby again. But this one, I like how Junior, who's voiced by Andrew McDonough, he doesn't cry too much in this movie. He actually likes the excitement of seeing chaotic stuff, and voiced by Andrew McDonough. And of course, in this sequel, Scamp is voiced by Scott Wolf, and Alyssa Milano does the voice of Angel. And of course, we got my favorite villain right there, Buster. I think he does look like a Doberman Buster. But yeah, this released straight to home media back on February 27th, 2001.
Yes.
And I know this,
which was theatrically released.
Yeah, I wish they could have released this in VHS in 1985 for its 30th anniversary of the first Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, but it got released in 1987 and 1998, so
that was only 2 VHS versions. But luckily, someone said there was a 2006 Platinum Edition VHS, but it was only in Canada. And I know there's an extremely rare VHS from 2006 of this movie, which I can never find, which I'm never buying. 2001 print is much easier, but yeah, that's Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamp's Adventure, which I like.
animated feature
Oh, it's Sleeping. Is it Sleeping Beauty?
is Sleeping Beauty.
I have the
the second film to be shot in anamorphic widescreen.
I have the 2008 2-disc Platinum Edition Blu-ray.
I do have 2 copies of the Masterpiece Collection Edition. I'll just show you this one of them.
Yeah, like I said, one format at a time, or
unless they have different variations in them. That's what I.
Oh yeah.
And this is fully restored limited edition. It's also THX certified, just like with Lady and the Tramp.
Except that VHS
this came out on VHS in 1997 and not 1998.
Or 1999 for its 40th anniversary. They should have done that. Like at the very end of the Masterpiece Collection timeline, release it in 1999 for the 40th anniversary. Because this Blu-ray I'm holding, it for some reason says 50th anniversary, even though it released in 1959 originally. They could have just done this in 2009. But yeah. What happened?
There it is. I was just like, oh man, yeah, like, because it's kind of like with Peter Pan. They released it on VHS in 2002, even though they could have released that one in 2003 and maybe released the Sleeping Beauty one either in 1999 or 2009 for either the 40th or 50th anniversary editions. Anyway,
but there's the label for Sleeping Beauty 1997 VHS. I think that one. I don't think that one has the Toy Story on home video trailer. I don't think it does.
It does not have the Toy Story on video trailer. It's only some 1996 releases like Oliver and Company and
James the Giant Peach.
James the Giant Peach that use it.
Okay, well, but anyway, yeah, let's keep. But anyway, yep, let's keep looking at more Sleeping Beauty stuff. I gotta show the Sleeping Beauty Blu-ray from 2008, which they should have just done in 2009.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna get the live-action Maleficent, which I heard it's as creepy. I like to watch some kid-friendly stuff with some action in it, and now and again. This version I like the best. And also, when we get to 101 Dalmatians, Flicka, I do have the live-action 101 Dalmatians, but we got to show the 2 animated movies first.
Yeah.
So, yep, we go to Disney's 17th feature-length animated feature-length movie of Disney, the 101 Dalmatians.
Speaking of which, that's exactly what I happen to have. This is the original 1992 VHS. Even though it could have been given a 1991 VHS release to celebrate the 30th anniversary, but waiting until 1992 for some reason.
And this one they could have just released in 2016 for the film's 55th? Yeah, it's 55th. 1961 plus 55th anniversary in 2016. But I guess they released this on the same year as the special edition of Blu-ray of Patches Land Adventure, which is going to be in a second. Let's look at the first 101 Dalmatians, which I know you don't have its sequel, Patches Land Adventure, quite yet.
Nope. I have another variation of this VHS that has a vertical sticker label, which I will show that one very quickly afterwards. Just the label, because the packaging's the same.
Yep, and luckily we're not explaining previews.
Yeah, print date is February 2nd, 1992.
Yep, luckily I didn't bring any other variants I have, because I just want to show one version at a time. But anyway. Yep. But there is a 2008 Platinum Edition DVD, which I want to get, because it has the version of the Cruella de Vil song performed by Selena Gomez, the one who's in Wizards of Waverly Place, which I know you haven't seen that Disney Channel show. Yep, and here's my Blu-ray of the animated film.
Even though I haven't, one of my cousins have seen it.
Okay, one of your cousins has seen Wizards of Waverly Place with Selena Gomez, but I want to get...
Russo is done by Jake T. Austin, who did the voice of Diego in Go Diego Go as well.
Oh, yeah, that garbage Go Diego Go, but Also, here's Patch's London Adventure, released straight. Well, I think it released. This was strangely into along with Jungle Book 2. Oh shoot! Well, I've finished with 101 Dalmatians. My bad. That was my fault.
It's okay.
Yep, it was my fault. But let's just keep looking. At least we know we got to go to Patch's London Adventure and the live-action remake. But I don't have 102
This is the vertical sticker label variation.
I don't have that version. Mine's a.
It's
or is that
rare?
Okay, that's just on the 1992 VHS.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is the Blu-ray that I like the most of 101 Dalmatians, because I like how this one, it's got the foil reflective cover. Okay, now I think I'll show this version. Like I said, this is the Diamond Edition from 2015. This was released in early 2015. Honestly, January or February of 2015, because I know the Patch's London Adventure Blu-ray released in June of 2015. So I think now let's go. Let me show Patch's London Adventure. Released.
Yeah.
Which I know this in Jungle Book 2 for some reason did get a theatrical release before they got a VHS and DVD release for some reason. Which is very strange. But yeah, Patch's London Adventure. And I know, like, I was strange. I thought like they were gonna have John Goodman voice Pongo in this sequel, but no, I think it's a different actor who voices Pongo from the original. And I like how there's many villains besides Boris and Jasper and Cruella de Vil. There's the show-off dog Little Lightning, who's the meaner version of Thunderbolt.
Wow. Oh, I found out that the DVD was originally released on January 21st, 2003.
I mean, it's like, wait, I thought this was gonna get actually, yeah, I think Jungle Book 2 for some reason got a theatrical release. Well, speaking of Jungle Book, we're going to get to Jungle Book soon, but yeah. And, of course, a little bonus, because this is related to 101 Dalmatians Flicka, the live action with Glenn Close.
Yeah.
This was really...
my VHS of the live action version very soon. But while you show that, I'm just going to briefly show off the Masterpiece Edition from 1999.
Okay. I'll just hold the VHS. Well, and
so that's that.
Yep, and the viewers out there, who cares if we mess up? It's just we just have to keep going.
Okay.
Sorry. And now, yes.
I can
now
show the live action version.
This one, Glenn Close plays Cruella de Vil, and also in the other live-action movie, which is 102 Dalmatians, which I don't think you have either do I, as me, Flicka. I don't have that on VHS nor DVD, 102 Dalmatians.
And my copy of this live-action VHS, it has absolutely no previews.
I think this one might have previews. I'll have to look through this tape just to be sure. I'll just give you...
but I've checked mine, and this does not have any previews on mine.
Yeah, I have to think of what previews are on this tape. But anyway, mine's printed on April 8th, 1997. Even though this was released in March.
If it has a print date like that, that would be the version without previews. If you find earlier printings, like maybe possibly in February or January, then you could find, then that's a copy that would have previews.
I mean, I have a respective clamshell, but if I find another tape that does have previews, I'll swap out the tape, but at least I still have the case. But yeah. Now we're done with 101 Dalmatians, because for now...
The film we're going to get to, in between 101 Dalmatians and the Jungle Book, is The Sword and the Stone, of course.
Yes, which released on Christmas Day, 1963 originally.
And when it was re-released in theaters in 1983, Winnie the Pooh and A Day for Eeyore played before the film started.
Oh yeah, for the 20th anniversary in 1983. But this version I have is the 50th anniversary Blu-ray from 2013.
This is the Walt Disney Classics edition of The Sword and the Stone that I talked about that I just gotten about a month ago.
That's the classics version from sometime in the 90s.
Actually, the casing is from 1989.
Oh, okay, so it's a 1989.
But this has an ink label, and it's printed on February 22nd, 1994.
That's a late pressing, because that was towards the end of the Black Diamond Classics lineup VHS.
Yeah, and the Masterpiece Collection line started in October of 1994, so... And I checked this tape before. This retains the original 1984 Classics Walt Disney Home Video Cheesy Classics Diamond logo from 1984 on here. I know some copies feature the 1989 Walt Disney Classics logo with source from Mickey, but this copy features the original 84 Walt Disney Classics logo, and some copies that have the 1980 and the copies that feature the 1989 Walt Disney Classics logo also featured the Buena Vista logo before the film starts, but this copy does not have the Buena Vista logo whatsoever.
Yeah. And I know you have another copy, so luckily I'm just holding my copy because I know we're at this movie. And surprisingly, yeah. Yep.
Luckily, I have only one other copy to show you, and I do have the Masterpiece Collection edition as well.
Yeah, and this movie came out a while after my dad was born, Flicka, so he was only a baby when this film came out. Well, eventually, I think he may have watched it in school when he was a kid. I don't know. Maybe he could have seen it for an anniversary in theaters when he was almost done with school.
Here is the Masterpiece edition from 1994.
That's the version I'm gonna like because I want to get because I like those Masterpiece Collection versions with that logo and the title of the movie on the spine and different.
Yeah, I actually like the Walt Disney Classics and Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection editions equally. They are both amazing lines.
Yeah, compared to like the Gold Classic Collection timeline, which I know that I think this got a Gold Classic Collection VHS or DVD.
2001.
I think it's a 2001 Gold Classic Collection Anniversary DVD.
And on DVD as well.
Because I'm actually shocked I had that DVD when I was a kid, Flicka, the Gold Classic Collection DVD of The Sword and the Stone, which I never watched. But luckily I watched this on... Yeah.
Even though this is a 1994 VHS, the print date is February 7th, 1997, so this is a later printing. And... this uses the 1996 Tape Master because this contains Aladdin and the King of Thieves as one of the trailers, but I'm not going to go into further detail on that just to save time.
Yeah, and to make sure it doesn't cause another problem, but I know you checked when you looked at that tape, you just explained something out, but yeah. And here's my Blu-ray of Sword of the Stone, which I'll luckily go through. And slipcover versions, I will not take out the case because I don't want to show the discs because they're just boring. Because around the time, Disney stopped putting artwork on their Blu-rays and DVDs around the 2010s.
All right.
But yeah, Sword in the Stone, that's all taken care of. So I think we now move on to...
we get into the very first film to be released right after Walt Disney's passing. And that is The Jungle Book.
Yep.
From 1967. This is the original 1991 Walt Disney Classics edition.
If I could tell, that's got it's not even got Mowgli and a diamond portrait, but even though it's got the Classics diamond portrait right there.
Yes. And in the Masterpiece edition, it has Baloo on the spine instead.
Yeah, but this one... And my Blu-ray has Mowgli on the spines anyway. Just like that VHS you're showing.
And...
I guess I just don't mind this one where the kid has shorts on his pants because it's a cartoon. So let's just get over this.
Anyway,
when we get to Little Mermaid, that's like different, something much different.
That film came out 22 years after The Jungle Book, though, 1989. Anyway, this copy it has an ink label, which is more common. Some of them have a sticker label.
I think the sticker label is probably horizontal or vertical, if I'm correct.
Vertical. They stopped using horizontal sticker labels in 1990 with the Little Mermaid.
Okay, so that's when they. But I know there's a vertical ink. Well, anyway, let's keep looking at that Jungle Book 1991 Black Diamond Classics VHS.
And this is the original printing because it's printed in March 7th, 1991. And I found out that some copies printed around 1992 or 1993 have the green FBI warning screens from 1991 in place of the original 1984 red-orange FBI warning screens. But this copy, it does retain the original 84 FBI warnings on here.
Yep. And yep, we're almost at the end. And also when we get to the Walt Disney Pictures logo era, Flicka, I do not have the Black Cauldron on VHS or DVD or that Club Blu-ray.
Even though I do.
Okay, you have the Black Cauldron, but you'll show that because I don't have that. But yeah, Jungle Book, we're all done. I would get the Jungle Book 2 on Blu-ray, but
I just go off really quickly, and that is the 1997 edition.
Yep, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, I'll just show the VHS. That's the version I have as well. That's the version I have.
30th anniversary limited edition.
Which has the fully restored one.
And it's THX certified. This, according to what I found out, there was another Disney VHS that was planned to be released on the same day as this VHS, The Jungle Book, back on October 14th of 1997, but it was canceled at the very last minute. And if you want to know what the title is, Alice in Wonderland was also originally going to come out on the same day as this VHS, The Jungle Book, but it was canceled at the last minute, and only The Jungle Book got released that day.
Yeah. And also, when I watched this as a kid, Flick, I didn't watch this as a kid. I watched this on Disney Plus. I couldn't tell which one was Shere Khan and which one was Bagheera, because I think Bagheera is the one, that panther all in black.
Bagheera was voiced by Sebastian Cabot, who was the Winnie the Pooh narrator as well.
But that's before he died. But in the Jungle Book 2, I think he was voiced by someone else. Well, in this movie, Baloo is voiced by Phil Harris, but in Jungle Book 2, he's voiced by John Goodman.
Yes, of course. And we also have Louis Primo do King Louie, the orangutan.
Yeah, he's like funny guy, but yeah, like a funny ape guy, but yeah.
And George Sanders does the tiger, Shere Khan.
The villain of this movie. I don't know what to call that snake, to be honest, because I think he looks like the same one who will appear in Robin Hood when we get to it.
And here's the label for this 30th anniversary edition. And
okay. And here's my 2014 Diamond Edition Blu-ray of The Jungle Book, which I like how this one's shiny. I'm never getting the other and I like how it's embossed. I like this shiny gold, and it's embossed. But yeah, that's all done with Jungle Book. I don't have the Jungle Book 2 animated film from 2003 on Blu-ray or the live-action version, because I don't think the Jungle Book live-action 2016 remake's good, in my personal opinion. And also for to mention, that was the first. It's also for the Jungle Book's also the very first Disney animated feature of the Buena Vista logo era aka the first Buena Vista Disney animated film after Walt Disney's passing.
And here's the 97 Laserdisc.
It's the same, so...
It's basically the same, except there are chapters inserted on the packaging on the back.
I didn't know they put chapter selections on a Laserdisc.
And I meant to show you this earlier when I meant to show you a few other Laserdiscs earlier, but I guess I didn't have the time to do it. But I did happen to have let me show this off really fast. For the first title, the widescreen Laserdisc of Lady and the Tramp, which I meant to show earlier, but here it is.
Okay.
And for the second title that we showed off,
Which was Sleeping Beauty.
I have that on Laserdisc as well.
Yep, I also forgot to tell you when we just showed Sleeping Beauty that the actual princess's name is Aurora.
Aurora. Princess Aurora.
It's her real name, but they just call her Sleeping Beauty because she falls into deep slumber. Because they say like on her they try to make her
curse, and that caused her to fall asleep.
But luckily the prince came to her rescue, and well, yeah. I think now we go on to the first Disney anime film of the 1970s.
Yes.
Which, yes.
Three copies I have from the Masterpiece Edition, but I am just going to show you just one of those three. And this is the... And I do have the Laserdisc of the Aristocats, which I'll show you right after.
Okay, well, I'll just hold the Blu-ray. You show the Laserdisc first, then I'll show the Blu-ray.
All right.
Yep, this is my second favorite regular Walt Disney animated movies. I'm trying to say, despite this is from Buena Vista and all of our companies from the Walt Disney Pictures logo era.
Yeah. And this was released in 1970, which was a year after Sesame Street premiered.
Yep, so I think around season 2 of Sesame Street. 1970 would have 1970 and was just season 2 of Sesame Street because the first season was 1969.
Yes. And here's the label. This was actually the first time the Aristocats was ever released on home video. This never got a Classics edition. Even though it could have been given a release in 1990 to celebrate the 20th anniversary and be part of the Classics edition by then.
No, I think Disney put it in just Masterpiece Collection version only on VHS, but there's also a Gold Classic Collection VHS counterpart, which that's rare.
From the Gold Classic Collection as well.
Yeah, I think all of those are hard to find.
I mostly grew up with the Classics and the Masterpiece Collection editions. I'm not really familiar with the Gold Classic Collection releases in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I can understand your opinion if you're not a big fan of the Gold Classic Collection VHS.
I'm not a big fan of it. I just didn't remember it that much because I haven't seen a lot of them.
Well, I do know Toy Story was one of the Pixar films that got a Gold Classic Collection VHS.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. If A Bug's Life managed to be part of the Masterpiece Collection, that could have been cool. That could have been the only Pixar film to be part of the Masterpiece Collection. But no, that didn't happen.
Yep. Well, and here's grabbing another one. Flick, we'll just explain more about Aristocats. Where, yep, we got Thomas O'Malley, of course, who's voiced by Phil Harris, who was Baloo in the previous film. And surprisingly, the voice of Duchess, the mother cat of her 3 kittens, was Eva Gabor.
Eva Gabor.
Eva Gabor. There we go. I actually say Eva Gabor, but it's Eva Gabor. It's saying the word Gabor, kind of like saying gator, but you have to say with a B instead of a T. But yeah. And you got her 3. I know these are her 3 kittens. One of them is that girl kitten is so cutie, but she could be throw hissy hits. Stop hissy fits. There we go.
Hissy fits.
Yeah, because she likes
hissy fits.
Yeah, and like she's pretty though, but I'll admit. But can I tell you the butler, like Edgar, is the best villain I've ever seen.
And yes, and
it's like he started off as a good guy, but then for some reason he turned bad towards the end of the movie.
Yes, and Roquefort the Mouse and the others sent him far away to Timbuktu as punishment for his actions. Now that we're done with the Aristocats...
Oh yeah, and my Blu-ray... Oh, we have in my 2012 Blu-ray, which I did get off eBay. And now we're done. Now we move on to what's
Now that we're done with that, we now move on to Robin Hood.
not released in November 1973 originally.
And this is pretty interesting because this is the only demo tape from Disney that I own.
I don't know you had a demo tape of a Disney film. I don't own demo tapes, to be honest. Even though they're cool.
I do have the retail VHS release of Robin Hood from the Classics edition that I will show you next, as well as the 94 Masterpiece Collection VHS.
And we're getting close to the Main Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Flicka, but we'll show off Main Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and I'll show you the two Pooh films I got on DVD relating to it, which are Piglet's Big Movie and Pooh's Heaven Movie. But I'm not showing any Disney holiday stuff, not just yet, because it's not the holidays yet.
Oh yeah! I also...
And, I forgot to show
I'm showing the Laserdisc of the Aristocats as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you'll get the other versions of Robin Hood.
Now, here is the official release from 1991. This is actually the second Walt Disney Classics release of Robin Hood because the first one came out in 84.
I mean, they could have released
the 1991 preview.
I mean, they could have just put this in 1993 on VHS to commemorate the 20th anniversary.
And just like the Jungle Book, there are later copies printed around 1992 or 1993 that have the green FBI warning screens on at the beginning in place of the 84 ones. But this is printed in 1991, so this features the original 84 FBI warning screens and a couple of previews at the beginning, which... And this is also the only Classics tape that I know of that features a cut short version of the Walt Disney Classics logo from 1989 without Sorcerer Mickey.
And and of course we got Little John voiced by, surprise, Phil Harris, but this is the very last animated Disney film he ever did. Voice a character.
Yes. Even though he was originally assigned to do the voice of Orville, the albatross in The Rescuers, but his role was given to Jim Jordan instead.
Yep, because speaking of Rescuers, also when we get to that flick, I'm going to show just the two. How about we show just the two movie collection? I'll show it off, and we just skip straight ahead to Fox and the Hound 1 and 2, but anyway. Well, we're still at Robin Hood, so we're not there just yet.
And I also have the Masterpiece Collection Edition from 1994. Here it is.
Yeah, and this is also the very first Walt Disney animated film I know to not have a single human on the set. This is filled with only animals. Well, actually, I think Bambi might have been the first. I think this is the first one since Bambi. Well, second one behind Bambi. The second one being Bambi, to have no humans on screen.
And, here's the tape. This is printed on September 4th, 1998, so this is a very late reprint. And this, and as a result, this has updated previews from 1998, and it uses the late 1997 green FBI warning screens as a result, instead of the original green FBI warning screens from 1991.
And if you have another version of Robin Hood to show, I'll just...
Actually, that Masterpiece Edition was the last edition of Robin Hood that I have, which means...
Okay, now and after the... Well, first I show the 2013 Blu-ray, which was released in 2013. 40th anniversary, released in 2013. The poster art looks almost identical to the 2006 single disc DVD, which I want to get that DVD just to replace the gray disc because I like having different menus on my discs. But yeah. Okay, now we go to Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which yes, we know, surprise, released in 1977.
And it was released in 1996 on VHS. And I think they did this to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the first theatrical short, Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree.
That's why they released the VHS in 97. There's also 2002 VHS of the Main Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
I used to have that VHS.
You know, I'm going to get that VHS one of these. Even though that one, I'll explain, that one has the same identical lines as the Toy Story coming to theaters trailer. Kind of like I said with one of those, the Thomas Magic Rare theatrical trailers on one Pacific one. This is kind of like that VHS you have right there is like having the Toy Story coming to theaters trailer, except they just take out all the sentences the adventure takes off on video. But he still says...
Oh, there's also one VHS release from 1995 that has the Toy Story theatrical trailer on it as well, and that was Cinderella, which I showed you earlier in part 1.
By the way, here's this. That's a vertical sticker label.
Kind of like vertical sticker label. The sticker label was more common for this VHS, though.
Even though I think there's ink labels that are either vertical or horizontal.
They're horizontal ink labels. I have one copy that has a horizontal ink label on there. And I also have an additional Laserdisc release from 96 to show you as well afterwards.
Okay, and then I'll show you the Blu-ray, and then I got some other Pooh films to show off, Flicka, which are
I also have Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. I might show that one next.
Okay, none of us have the Tigger movie. I used to have that on VHS, the Tigger movie, but I don't have it anymore. I should have kept it.
Here's the copy that I'm talking about with the horizontal ink label, but it's more rare.
Even though I like having ink labels on tapes better, so I don't have to worry about peeling off the sticker with my fingertips, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that was the VHS copy that I've owned with the horizontal ink label.
And of course, I have the Blu-ray version from 2013. They could have just released this in 2012 for the 35th anniversary.
Oh, they also released a Friendship Edition DVD in 2007.
Which does have a bonus episode of My Friends Tigger and Pooh, which I don't know if you like that show or not. If you don't...
I actually like the original Winnie the Pooh better.
With Christopher Robin with Winnie the Pooh much better than the girl Darby in that.
And on the VHS from 2002, as well as the 2002 DVD, it also features a bonus short called Winnie the Pooh and the Day for Eeyore.
I think this one has the Day for Eeyore on this Blu-ray. That's why I have this Blu-ray compact. It has the same thing, but yeah.
Here's the Laserdisc from 96. And the weird thing about this VHS is that, unlike my other Laserdisc releases from the Masterpiece Collection, that use the Masterpiece Collection logo, this one for some reason uses the 1986 Walt Disney Home Video Sorcerer Mickey logo, even though it's a 1996 Laserdisc release. Because the other Laserdisc releases released around that time in 1996 and 1997 featured the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo, but with the 1992 distorted Walt Disney Classics music playing over it for some reason.
Yeah, and I know this Pooh film, I'm pretty sure, yes, it does have Jim Cummings voicing Pooh and Tigger in this Pooh film, but if not, the later films, they do have that.
Sterling Holloway voices Winnie the Pooh in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. But the next feature, which I'm going to show you next...
You show next.
Does have Jim Cummings.
Voice Pooh as well as Tigger. Or if he just does Pooh, because I mean they sound almost.
Pooh. I think Paul Winchell still does Tigger in this film, but Jim Cummings voices Pooh in this film. I'm going to show you Pooh's Grand Adventure: The Search for Christopher Robin.
Yeah, I think I don't like that Pooh film as much because I was disappointed they didn't put Roo in that film. because I love Rue. He's a cutie.
Yeah,
But
that's not the only thing that's awkward about Rue not this film. Not only does Rue not appear in this film, but this VHS of Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin, for some reason, it features the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo, even though it is not considered part of the Masterpiece Collection lineup.
I'll have to get this DVD release from 2006 that possibly has it.
It does not, because the Masterpiece Collection logo was retired in 1999, so this happens only on the VHS.
Well, at least, if you there's a DVD counterpart that looks almost identical to that, but you don't have to worry about something like that. But because they did make a 2D animated film just simply called Winnie the Pooh in 2011, which I don't have that yet.
This has a dark sticker label.
That's rare. Well, it's different compared to a white sticker label on Thomas VHS tapes that went all the way up to, I believe when Thomas Magic Railroad did that, they kept doing white stickers on their labels. Even this is strange. The Toss Release Makes Someone Happy flick on VHS got a black sticker label. The tape is black, but it has a white sticker on the tape. That's rare.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. Now
we get into the next animated feature.
Do you have the Tigger movie, Flicka?
No.
I'll just show Piglet's Big Movie fast. Released in 2003. This surprisingly got a theatrical release, and then it got a VHS and DVD after that. But I'm never getting this on VHS because that club exclusive Blu-ray. Well, even though it's the same film, I'll just stick with this DVD. By the way, and of course, Pooh's Have-A-Love movie. I'm not going to show the Halloween one just yet.
I actually saw that film in theaters.
Pooh's Have-A-Love movie or the Pooh's Have-A-Love Halloween movie?
I think it was Pooh's Have-A-Love movie.
Okay, not the Yep, and this one has the advert for Pooh's Have-A-Love Halloween movie coming to DVD September 13th, 2005, which was a week after the Thomas Calling All Engines one. And yes, get this. This has the
also John Fiedler's last time he voiced Piglet before he passed away.
Yeah, and also we didn't. Yeah, I know. And also I got to show Christopher Robin the live-action film fast as well, because this is also a Pooh adaptation. This is probably the best live-action Pooh adaptation that Disney did, in my personal opinion.
I've heard they actually made a rated R Winnie the Pooh film called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, which is very weird.
I'm never watching that. Ew, stay away from that at all costs. But the best way to watch a Pooh live-action adaptation is to watch Christopher Robin with Ewan McGregor playing adult Christopher Robin. Ewan McGregor, he was famous for doing Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. He was actually actually a voice cameo in 2 Disney era Star Wars films. Ewan McGregor. I mean, you probably know Ewan McGregor. Okay, now we're done with all the Pooh films.
20th Century Fox had the rights to Star Wars films, and then Warner Brothers did briefly, and then Disney.
Well, yeah. Now let's show. Hopefully, just do this, Flicka, because the Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under are related to each other.
Yes. We'll show off the Rescuers first, and then the Rescuers Down Under, and then.
Yeah, because both these films released together on Blu-ray. I'm glad they didn't release these on Blu-ray separately.
Yeah, and.
Well, it makes sense, but yeah, wait. Let's just keep. Why don't you show
this? Is the original 1992 VHS of the Rescuers, and this is pretty awkward because you would think that it could have been released on VHS in 1990 to commemorate with the Rescuers Down Under, but for some reason Disney delayed that release for the original Rescuers on VHS until 1992.
But luckily, if you had an error problem, you could get even though you don't like the Gold Classic Collection, I'm surprised that the Rescuers Down Under got a Gold Classic Collection VHS and DVD, but the original Rescuers didn't.
However, the original Rescuers did get a Masterpiece Collection release, unlike the Rescuers Down Under, which did not.
Well, anyway, yep, there's the first Rescuers, released in June of 1977.
Yes.
Actually, just a month after the very first Star Wars movie, just simply called Star Wars, but they changed it to A New Hope in 1997.
This is also the only tape that features a special variation of the feature presentation screen, where instead of it being shown in the the standard lilac blue background. It's in a navy blue, dark blue background, but the voiceover announcer is exactly the same. And
Yes, he still says, yeah.
The Walt Disney Classics logo is completely distorted and heavier on bass, and it's probably as a result of the tape master wearing down and getting distorted after being used for so many times.
But anyway, yep, we all know the Rescuers released
the Buena Vista logo intact on this VHS of the Rescuers,
and even on the Blu-ray 2 disc, which I have the collection right here. And yep, I just got this brand new off eBay. So let's look at the site. Well, this is for both Rescuers because they're both related to each other, even though they could just release them at the same time. But anyway, yep, there's the cute little girl Penny, which is in this movie she's voiced by Michelle Stacy, whereas even though we're not going to show Bolt in this part, no, that one in Bolt Penny's voiced by Miley Cyrus, but this one she's voiced by Michelle Stacy Penny. And get a look at this, Flicka. Bob Newhart, who does the voice of Papa Elf in the movie Elf, does the voice of Bernard.
Wow.
Bob Newhart. Yeah, you know that. Bob Newhart. And
I knew that because I've seen both films before.
And I think, yeah, and also I think Eva Gabor is still in this movie. She voiced Miss Bianca, I think.
Yes, she is. If there was a sequel to the Aristocats, I would still have Eva Gabor voice Miss Bianca, and maybe have that sequel be released in 1993, and maybe we could have John Ritter voice Thomas O'Malley this time.
Well, they never released an Aristocats 2 or Dumbo 2 or Snow White 2 because Disney said they didn't have a way to make
any more sequels for animated films.
Well, until they made some Disney direct-to-home media sequels in the 90s, but yeah. There's the Masterpiece. There's the Masterpiece
Collection VHS release. Now,
that's the VHS version. I remember
of the Rescuers from 1999. It was originally released on January 5th of 1999, but 3 days afterwards, it was recalled due to somebody catching a disturbing image from this film of
that particular scene. Yeah, like because of the one TV scene in one building when they're flying down, and they could see one TV screen where they show a shirtless woman on television screen. I think the Blu-ray fixed that problem. I don't know.
Yes,
I think it did.
And this is the VHS. This is the corrected version of the VHS that I have that removes the controversial image.
Okay,
and was re-released on March 23rd, 1999, 2 weeks after 101 Dalmatians.
And yep, that's the VHS. I remember.
The only other VHS of the rescue from Disney to feature a bonus Mouseworks short called Pluto Gets the Paper. On this VHS, it has Pluto getting covered in gum, whereas on 101 Dalmatians, it has Pluto getting stuck in a street cleaner.
I never watched those shorts, but anyway. Yep, we all know Rescuers. The original one released in 1977, and we know Rescuers Down Under released in 1990. So just to say them together, because I'm showing the two-movie set, Rescuers Down Under released in 1990.
Yes.
Actually released the same year as these three films. Pretty Woman, The First Home Alone, and The First Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And of course, I have the original 1991 VHS.
Yep, there's Cody, the boy, who's the kid, the one they save in this one.
The late great John Candy voiced Wilbur the Albatross airliner.
Yep, that was before. This is actually also
that was about almost 4 years before he passed away in 1994.
And 5 years before Eva Gabor passed away in 1995.
Oh, Phil Harris also passed away in 1995, 1 month after Eva Gabor.
But at least the actor who does the mouse, Jake, is still alive. But I like how this cover, I can see Jake is orange on the cover. I don't like how Cody's shirt is orange on this one, whereas on the cover on my Blu-ray, which you can't see, the first time the thing is in the way, his shirt is red. Because in the actual movie, his shirt is red. I don't know why his shirt is orange on the. Not only because
an error that they made in the cover. They meant to make it red, but For some reason, they accidentally put orange.
Well, yep, there's the Rescuers Down Under tape from...
It's from 1991. And why this would get a VHS release before the original Rescuers is beyond me.
That's kind of like how, what? I don't know. Some other movie got this VHS release before this movie did. See, like, because you know how, like, for some reason, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang... Well, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang came out before Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, so it makes sense to put that on VHS multiple times before Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory did. It's also strange how Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory got on VHS before Chitty Chitty Bang Bang did. Or I think it did. I don't know. I don't know which one came out first.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was a Paramount film that Warner Brothers then re-released, whereas Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's from MGM.
Yes, but I don't think we've shown MGM films yet.
I don't really have that much MGM films. Well, I do, but they are Warner Brothers DVD re-releases of the MGM films.
That's a similar thing, but yeah, we're done with Rescuers. I think we go on to the last
into the Fox and the Hound,
which I have the 2 movie set of this from 1981
in the Buena Vista era.
Which the first one released in 1981, and its sequel, Fox and the Hound 2, released straight to DVD in late 2000.
Surprisingly, this VHS of the Fox and the Hound was released on the exact same day that John Candy passed away, which was March 4th, 1994.
And also, this is strange. I think this movie, The Fox and the Hound, came out years before Jack Albertson passed away, the one who did Grandpa Joe in Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. That 1981 was a few years before Jack Albertson passed away.
Yeah, and this VHS of the Fox and the Hound, it was surprisingly released on March 4th, 1994, which was the exact same day John Candy passed away for some reason.
But I think yours might have a print date that was printed before John Candy passed away.
This copy is printed on January 5th, 1994. So yes, this copy, it just has the Lion King theatrical trailer. There is no Return of Jafar trailer on this copy, but I do have another copy that does contain the Return of Jafar trailer, which I will show you next.
Yep, this is this is the only Disney animated film of the 1980s to be of the Buena Vista era. There were only 2 of the 1950s, which were Lady and the Tramp and Sleeping Beauty, which we showed earlier, even though I included Scamp's Adventure. This one I'm going to show both for Fox and the Hound 1 and 2, but you don't have Fox
from the 1960s.
That's 3. Yeah, that's 3.
4 from the 1970s.
And technically 1 bonus because we showed Rescuers Down Under just to make it safer, but yeah.
Here's the version that does contain the Return of Jafar trailer on here. And this one is printed on March 5th of 1994, printed 1 day after its official release.
And the day after John Candy passed away. That copy you're showing, but yeah. And also, yeah, I know you have not seen Fox and the Hound 2. I do not recommend it, Flicka. I would stay away from it.
There's no Fox and the Hound, but I have not seen Fox and the Hound 2, and I'm not going to see that one.
Yeah, I would recommend not getting if you're going to get this on DVD, I guess get this 2-movie set, but don't watch the second one, but stick with the first one.
All right.
They released this on...
Goodbye to the Buena Vista era. Hello to the Walt Disney Pictures era with the Black Cauldron.
That's the VHS I remember having, Flicka, the 1998 version, which I saw at half-price books. I like that foil reflective cover on that VHS. That one also got a Gold Classic Collection.
Really shiny and reflective. Some of the 94 Masterpiece Collection Edition VHS tapes have the logo shining when you bring the tape closer at some angles or of some sort. And this is unusual in that this is an animated film that is rated PG and not G.
Yeah, all the other films... Yeah, I think this is the first official Disney animated film to get a PG rating. Because you know how The Incredibles was the first Pixar film to get a PG rating.
But this is the first regular Disney animated feature to get a PG rating.
Yeah,
because films that would be rated PG-13 or R would go straight into the touchstone category.
Well, this one it's just PG because it's got a mild action and other stuff.
I'm not sure if this features any harsh language or swear words because I have not watched this film, but when I do, I will let you know.
Well, I mean,
this is an early copy from June 28th of 1998, and this came out on August 4th. And this copy is version number 1, which features the black and blue feature program screen. Because there are later copies of this VHS that have the Flashbang feature presentation screen, along with the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo. But this one features the feature program screen, and after that one, it just goes right to the green format screen.
All right. So I think next up.
Also,
okay.
This is also the first time Black Cauldron was ever released on home video.
Yeah. Then your printing on your VHS was printed a while after I was born, Flicka. The end of June.
I have a later printing of the Black Cauldron that has updated, that has the feature presentation screen. Both of them have the feature program screen on both of my copies, so that's why I'm only showing one. But the next one is...
we're still at Black Cauldron, so I know what comes after Black Cauldron, so we'll just keep going.
Actually, that's my only VHS of the Black Cauldron that I'm showing you.
So
next up is Detective.
Released originally in 1986, which
this was released July 16th, 1992 on VHS.
Well, the film originally released in 1986. They could just release this in 1991 to commemorate its 5th anniversary.
But this is the 1992 theatrical re-release of the film that is shown because it has the Adventures of the Great Mouse Detective in the title.
Well, on the Blu-ray release, they fixed the title to call it just The Great Mouse Detective. And unfortunately, I'll have to live with the if I get the Blu-ray flick, I'm gonna have to live with this one where Basil Baker Street, his detective uniform is green, but on the one of the VHS versions, it is brown. I think, yeah, it's brown on the
1999 VHS, I believe.
Yes, 1999 one, but the 2002 one that does have the Monsters Inc. and Rookie trailers. That one, unfortunately, still has Basil in his green uniform.
If you look at the spine, it does not show the Walt Disney Home Video logo because the title took too much room to fill it in, so it just features the Classics diamond.
Well, at least it says Walt Disney Classic on the front, but anyway.
Yes,
and here's a nice picture of Basil Baker Street holding that's the little girl Olivia, voiced by a specific actress.
Label. Print date. May 26th, 1992.
Mine's printed on May 8th, 1992. I don't have the Blu-ray combo pack yet, but I will find it soon. I know what it looks like. Okay, now I think we're done with... I also want to show you Brave Little Toaster, if that's fine, Flicka, because I
do have the 1999 VHS of The Great Mouse Detective that I'm going to show you.
Okay, and hopefully...
to show the Brave Little Toaster since I do not have that.
Or the other... Okay, you show the 1999 VHS of The Great Mouse Detective, which... Can you believe they have a dog...
The 1992 VHS, the 1999 VHS, it has her... Basil's uniform in its original brown color, like the film.
Yeah, at least Disney made a VHS variant where they did fix that error, but...
It was released on August 31st of 1999, just around 6 days before Dragon Tales premiered on PBS Kids.
Yep, that's true. And a while after Thomas Season 5 came out in the US.
And this is printed on July 21st, 1999, so if you look at the spine has the Disney castle at the top, and then it says Walt Disney, which I've heard that this was originally going to be part of the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, but because it came out a month after the Masterpiece Collection line discontinued, it wound up as being a standard Walt Disney Home Video release. Same thing for the 1999 VHS of Pinocchio.
Okay. Now, I'll just show you Brave Old Toaster on DVD.
And after that, we get into Oliver and Company.
Yep. This is just a Luckily, this is a Disney film, so I'll just show this. Brave Old Toaster released in theaters back in 1987.
It was originally released by Disney, but then Lionsgate re-released it.
Lionsgate? Lionsgate, the ones who did the Thomas DVDs. And Clifford.
Yes, along with Clifford, that dog and stuff.
Well, I think this DVD released sometime in the autumn of 2003. I think it was September of 2003. I'll have to look up when this DVD released. I know this is a 1987 film, but this is a 2003 release. Well, it
could have been released in 2002 instead, though.
Celebrate. Because it says celebrating the 50th anniversary, but for some reason they put it on DVD in 2003. And this is probably my favorite of the Brave Old Toaster films in general. Well, the second one would be To the Rescue, and my least favorite is Goes to Mars.
Actually, the second is Goes to Mars. The third is To the Rescue.
But if you watch them in the story timeline, you should watch them in the story how it goes to the rescue, where Master Rob is in college and he has to fill out a final paper, and the third one is when he and his wife Chris, it's strange how the girl is named Chris, Rob's wife, and for some reason they have a baby named Robbie. And yes, he cried at the beginning, Robbie, but that was actually due to Rusty Taylor, the voice of Minnie Mouse. But she's gone now. May she rest in peace, Rusty Taylor, the voice of Minnie Mouse.
Yes. And Wayne Allwine, the voice of Mickey Mouse, has passed away as well.
But at least Bill Farmer, who the voice of Goofy, is still alive.
Yes, along with Jim Cummings, the voice of Pete, the cat.
Okay, now we're done with Brave Old Toaster. I don't have the sequels yet, but now we go on to...
There's Oliver and Company.
My favorite regular Walt Disney animated movie of all time, and we all know this was not only was this their 27th animated feature film, but this was the last of the main feature-length movies of the main timeline before they switched to the Disney Renaissance a year later in 1989 with Little Mermaid.
Yes, and
because we know this.
Billy Joel is the voice of the Dodger.
Of Dodger, that dog right there, and Joey Lawrence is Oliver,
and of course Beth Midler
as the meanie George. Well, she's like snotty Georgette, and of course Natalie Gregory, who is Jenny Foxworth, and of course Cheech Marin, who is Ramon's voice actor from Cars, is in here. But rest in peace to the Robert actor who voiced the villain Sykes and Dom DeLuise. Surprisingly, this is the only Disney film that Dom DeLuise is in.
Roscoe Lee Brown is the voice of Francis, and he actually narrated the interstitials between the songs in the 2002 version of Disney's Very Merry Christmas songs, if you listen closely.
And another thing I want to also bring up here is that and also these have most catchiest songs I've seen in a Disney film from the last one of the regular Walt Disney animated timeline of the 1980s.
Why Should I Worry by Billy Joel?
Or The Perfect Isn't Easy performed by Snotty Georgette, or the You and Me Good Company. Which, can I tell you, You and Me Good Company with Jenny and Oliver is the cutest song I've ever heard in this movie.
Yeah, and this was actually the first time Oliver and Company was released on video. It came out on September 25th, 1996, even though it was advertised to come out on September 24th, but it came out one day late.
Yep, I know Yeah, all VHS versions of Oliver and Company. I know there's a 2002 VHS of Oliver and Company, which has updated previews, which I'm never getting. Well, maybe I
But
should.
yeah,
Well,
this is
anyway,
the 1996 VHS though, the original 96 VHS.
which
And
actually did,
as
come. Oh,
and this
and
is also another tape that features an interesting variation of the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo with the feature presentation voiceover over it, just like with the Aristocats.
and it and yeah, another thing I also want to bring up. Yeah, this takes place in New York City, and they show real life settings in New York City in this movie. This is why I like movies when they go to New York City flick up. But yeah, Oliver and Company, my all-time
Peach is another film where they go to where characters go to New York City.
Mr. Deeds, they go to New York City. That's why Mr. Deeds is my favorite Adam Sandler film of all time, because Longfellow Deeds, played by Adam Sandler, goes to there because his great uncle died, and he had to go there till he got the will for his. They got the money for his. Well, anyway, yep, Oliver and Company. Yeah.
I have.
Oh yeah, we gotta go to Little Mermaid.
1990 VHS of The Little Mermaid.
Which this is Disney's. Oh.
20. This is actually Disney's
20.
I think it's 28th animated feature. Yes, 28th.
27th would be Oliver and Company, but that was the last of the original Walt Disney animated movie timeline before this one started off the Disney Renaissance. This is the only Disney film with the A's to be of the Renaissance, Little Mermaid.
And this features Jodie Benson as the voice of Ariel, Kenneth Mars does King Triton, and Pat Carroll does the evil Ursula.
May she rest in peace, though, Pat, here.
And Kenneth Mars, may he rest in peace as well.
The one who was the voice of King Triton? Okay. Okay, but yeah, Little Mermaid is my favorite. This is just my favorite Little Mermaid
movie. Right, may he rest in peace. The voice of Sebastian, the crab.
Oh yeah, and I know that's Flounder because he's got the bluish stripes, and that's his fin right there. I think that's a cool combination for the fish.
Say that this VHS version of the cover is that the cover looks controversial, but I do not buy that at all.
I do not follow that. I just say, if I like that cover art, I'll take it. But if I don't like it, I just don't go near it.
Personally, the controversial cover art is what makes this copy really cool. It doesn't really bother me at all.
I don't know if this tape you have is showing for the theatrical trailer of The Rescuers Down Under. I could be wrong.
It's shown on the VHS. This theatrical trailer for The Little Mermaid is shown on the Bambi VHS from 1989.
Well, wait, yeah. And this is the version of Little Mermaid I'll show the highest is the 2019 4K release.
This has a vertical ink label. And I also have the 1998 VHS to show you next.
Yep, and we know this released in 1989, the only Disney animated film to start off the Disney Renaissance. Whereas all the other 8 were released in the 90s, leading up from...
Because the rest of the films would be in the 90s.
Yep, from Beauty and the Beast all the way to Tarzan. Which I don't have Tarzan or Lion King. Well,
I have Tarzan, but the tape is damaged.
I do have the sequel to Tarzan 2, but I don't have Tarzan and Jane. And I do, and I also do have Aladdin, just the original.
I actually have all 3 Aladdin films on VHS. The original theatrical film, and in the 2 direct-to-videos, I have all 3 of those on VHS.
Yep. Luckily, we're showing cartoon ones only, but yeah, there's the 1998 version, which came out the year I was born, but it might come out early.
Special edition, released March 31st, 1998.
Okay, that was before I was born. Less than 3 months.
And it features the never-before-seen music video Part of Your World, which plays in the end credits on this VHS version of The Little Mermaid.
Whereas I think on the original VHS version, they didn't do it.
VHS, it does not.
And also when we finish The Little Mermaid, I do have the 2 sequels, Return of the Sea and Ariel's Beginning, which I'm only showing this version. Well, anyway, that's the
Here's the ink label, and printed on January 28th, 1998.
All right. So anyway, and I do have this. Yep, this is the 4K version I'll show of Little Mermaid because I used to have the 2006 Platinum Edition DVD. I think I'm gonna think of getting it back because it has the different version of the Part of Your World song performed by Ashley Tisdale of High School Musical. Well, who played Sharpay.
But on the 98 VHS, it's Jodie Benson singing Part of Your World.
Even like this one, that VHS you showed of Little Mermaid from 1998 does have the Masterpiece Collection version of Lady and the Tramp Masterpiece Collection VHS trailer.
Yes, and it also has Melody Time as another trailer being shown.
Yeah, at least this version of Little Mermaid I showed Flicka it didn't have Ariel showing her part of her stomach. Well, like the part of her stomach right there is, at least on this version, it covers it up both. But anyway, well, but here's what I'll have to live with. Well, let me just show you the Little Mermaid 2 movies collection sequels now, which Little Mermaid 2 Return to the Sea released straight to home media in 2000, and Ariel's Beginning released straight to DVD only in 2008. And both sequels are not actually that bad, but some people say Ariel's Beginning say you should watch that before the original Little Mermaid.
Well, Ariel's Beginning, Jim Cummings does the voice of King Triton instead of Kenneth Mars because I think he was too sick to do. I think Kenneth Mars was too sick to voice King Triton, so that's why Jim Cummings took over for him. But
at least Jodie Benson stayed, which was good. And the voice for Melody, it's not too bad in this one. Which, actually, I tell you, when I watched this along with Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamps Adventure flick of Little Mermaid 2 and Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamps Adventure, I was actually not. I didn't get triggered by this scene at the beginning of baby Melody getting captured by Ursula's the evil sister of Ursula.
Yeah.
She kept laughing throughout it, and luckily they gave her back to Prince Eric. But anyway, and of course, and it's Ariel's Beginning. Yes, I like both of these. So these are tied for my second favorite spot of Disney direct-to-home media sequels because I like the original Little Mermaid the best. But anyway, now we go to
Beauty and the Beast,
released in November of '91.
November 22nd, 1991.
Yep. Did come out when Thomas Season 3 came out at the time. Well, it came out on PBS through Shine Time Station in the US first, Thomas Season 3.
And this is the only edition of Beauty and the Beast that I have, but there's another version that has an added preview after the others.
There is a 2002 Platinum Edition VHS of Beauty and the Beast, which I don't think you're going to get because that version looks better. At least this one, I think Belle is one of my favorite Disney princesses. This is why I like Beauty and the Beast the best.
And when I saw Beauty and the Beast, I thought it was Jodie Benson who did Belle, but it was actually Paige O'Hara. However, I have heard that Jodie Benson has voiced Belle when Paige O'Hara became unavailable at the time.
I think... Isn't that the case, like, with the two Beauty and the Beast Christmas direct-to-home media sequels, which are Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas and Belle's Magical World, or did they just...
Yes, Paige O'Hara voices Belle in these direct-to-video films as well.
Okay, but at least Robbie Benson, the voice of the Beast, is still intact.
Yes.
And Gaston is one of the best villains. He's my all-time favorite Disney villain. And like how Belle refuses to marry him.
He's like, fine, then I'd say we kill the beast.
And says, no, you can't do this. And then Gaston tells her, you're not with us, you're against us.
Print date's June 3rd, 1992. This features the special previews screen on this copy. And it does not have the home video trailer for Pinocchio at the beginning. I think this version might have the Pinocchio trailer at the end. I'll have to double check it.
And I also this is the only version of Beauty and the Beast I will get the 2002 Platinum Edition VHS and DVD, of Beauty and the Beast because I like how the VHS has a colored blue lid. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast, my all-time favorite, just Disney animated film, just anything of general. Nothing to say about this. It's just amazing. Disney did an amazing job with it. And I do have, I think we go next.
Variation.
Oh, yep.
Of the 1992 VHS to show you as well. And this features...
Yeah, it's like even like when the Beast turns back into a human, it's still Robbie Benson, the voice of the human prince. I think it's still Robbie Benson. I think they just tone his voice when he transforms into a beast.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, this has Sorcerer Mickey next to the Walt Disney Home Video logo in this version of the ink label.
That's a different variation, but yeah.
And this features the Pinocchio trailer at the beginning.
Okay, different to how it does it at the end.
Preview bumper, not special previews, special preview.
Okay, so special preview. I think. Well, wait. Yep. Let's just. And then. Yep. This would have been what? This would have been Disney's what?
October 30th, 1992 on VHS.
So this would have been Disney's 30th. I think 30th. Yeah, 30th.
Yes, it is the 30th. The Rescuers Down Under came after The Little Mermaid and before Beauty and the Beast.
So we skipped to number 30. So Aladdin would be next as number 31.
Yes, and then The Lion King would come afterwards, then Pocahontas, then the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Actually, when we get to... You have Pocahontas, right, Flicka? So I don't know if we should show that before a Goofy movie or after a Goofy movie, because a Goofy movie came out in video. It came out originally sometime in the spring of...
After Pocahontas.
Because I think Pocahontas came out, what, January or February of 95? Originally? Wait, you said June? So June 1995, so April 1995 would have been a Goofy movie's originally released. Because if that's the case, I'll just hold a Goofy movie right here, but I'll just pull up Aladdin because we're going to...
We'll show off... We could show off a Goofy movie before Pocahontas.
Well, yeah, because it came out April of 1995, a Goofy movie originally, but it didn't release on video in September of 1995.
So we'll show off a Goofy movie after The Lion King and before Pocahontas.
And when we get to Lion King, I'll just show you just Lion King 1.5, because I know you have the actual Lion King movie itself. So anyway.
Speaking of Aladdin.
Yep, we got to it. We're at it. Aladdin released originally in November 1992.
And came out on October 1st, 1993 on VHS.
And I know that your copy is probably the one that has the thing it doesn't have the thing where it's peeling away the original classic.
It doesn't say the original anime classic.
Yeah.
I do have another copy that does have the diamond read that, which I'll show you that one next.
Yeah, another one we have to deal with the princess is showing her stomach, Jasmine.
And this has Sorcerer Mickey next to the Walt Disney Home Video logo in the ink label here.
I know this VHS was in a trailer on the VHS of Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey 1993
and
VHS.
Pinocchio. It's also shown on the Pinocchio VHS from 1993.
Yep. But at least like this one, Aladdin, it has a boy character as the main focus where he wants to marry the Princess Jasmine. But anyway, yep.
And Raja kind of looks like Shere Khan from the Jungle Book, but more friendly and not villain-like.
But at least in this one, in Aladdin, this animated version, Genie's voiced by Robin Williams. May he rest in peace, Robin Williams. But in the live action 2019 version, he's voiced by Will Smith.
And here is the version that does have the diamond read the original animated classic.
And yours was in a green clamshell.
And this time has no Sorcerer Mickey next to Walt Disney Home Video logo.
But yeah, after we get to the very last Walt Disney animated 2D one, Flicka, we skip over to Princess and the Frog from 2009 when we get into the 2000s movies. Because all the other ones after the Home on the Range, they go 3D animated, but we're showing only 2D.
The last 2D animated film that I have on VHS is Tarzan, so I'll let you show the rest of them after Tarzan.
Yeah, I don't have Dinosaur, The Emperor's New Groove. Well, I just say just Dinosaur and The Emperor's New Groove because we could just get Fantasia 2000 in the 2-movie pack with the original Fantasia. And then I don't have Atlantis. I do have Lilo and Stitch. I will show that. Yeah, after Tarzan, we'll just go straight to Lilo and Stitch, which I know you don't have Lilo and Stitch on any format yet.
Nope.
Well, the VHS is easy to find, and that DVD counterpart.
Here's one of the direct-to-video sequels of Aladdin I have, The Return of Jafar.
It's the kind of a continuation of the original story, but for some reason they bring back... That's kind of like how Sonic the Hedgehog 2, for some reason, they brought Eggman back very fast in the sequel. And
the downside about this film is that Robin Williams does not voice the genie in this film. It's Dan Castellaneta, who is most famously known for Homer Simpson.
Okay, Homer Simpson's voice actor voiced Genie instead of Robin Williams, but at least Robin Williams will come back to voicing Genie in The King of Thieves.
Yes,
which is
he
kind
does.
But unfortunately, after that, Robin Williams, may he rest in peace.
Label.
Yeah, I just showed just the 4K of the original Aladdin because I don't know why I have 2 different Blu-ray versions of Aladdin. I also have the Platinum Edition DVD.
And
there's a DVD release of that and King of Thieves, Aladdin the King of Thieves. I used to have that on VHS, Aladdin the King of Thieves, but I got rid of that VHS because I realized, why do I need these 2 sequels on VHS separately when I can just get them on a combo pack together?
Speaking of Aladdin the King of Thieves, that's the next VHS I'm going to show you right now. Here it is.
Yep. In 1996
VHS.
Yep, and yeah, I know it does have the genie in a portrait diamond, even though this is not a Black Diamond Classics release.
Yes, and it also says Disney Presents on the spine at the top, just like with Pooh's Grand Adventure to search for Christopher Robin. But unlike the VHS of Pooh's Grand Adventure, the search for Christopher Robin, which accidentally uses the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo, this VHS of Aladdin and the King of Thieves actually does feature the gold Walt Disney Home Video logo after the feature presentation screen. So that's a plus.
Yep.
Here is the label. Print date July 16th, 1996. And
yep, I say some people say they should skip over the Return of Jafar and just go straight to Aladdin the King of Thieves, because you know how Prince Ali fell in love with Jasmine at the end of the first Aladdin. Kind of, well, you know what I mean, but yeah. So now, and next would be live action 2019 Aladdin, but I don't have that. Even though Will Smith does an amazing job as the genie in that version, I don't know if I want to get it.
After showing off the VHS releases of all 3 Aladdin films, I also have the...
Oh, yeah. We gotta show something else first, actually. So, luckily I don't have anything else to show, at least for a while.
I also have the laser disc of the first Aladdin film from 1994. This is...
That's strange how it got a laser disc after the VHS release.
And the VHS, that was because it was planned to be released in 1993, but it was held over to September of 1994 because of piracy reasons.
Piracy reasons? This is why when I think of that, I just say I don't like watching these videos, Flicka, where they say anti-piracy stuff on video games. They're just, it just bores me to death. They submit creepy stuff when they say that this is a piracy. You should. Oh, but I don't know if you watched that video of saying anti-piracy. This is
No,
this
I
is
have
anti.
not.
Okay, don't watch those videos. They're freaky as crap, and I do not like watching those at all. Luckily, like, it's funny how they did it on some video games, but I don't know if they did it for movies. I don't know. Anyway.
Now that was the last. That was the second. I have a few more Laserdisc releases left to show you as well. That Laserdisc of Aladdin wasn't really in the greatest of condition, but
Actually, oh yeah, I don't think I could show. I also have Kronk's New Groove while you're grabbing it, Blika. You don't have the Emperor's New Groove on VHS or DVD. I was just saying.
here is the 1995 Masterpiece Edition of The Lion King.
I know you also have the 2003 Special Edition VHS as well.
Yes, I have that one.
Well, hopefully, like, when you show it, the tape is not entirely blue, but that label's still black.
Actually, the tape, the 2003 VHS that I have, it has an entirely black tape with the black lid.
Oh, it doesn't have a blue lid. That's unfortunate. Usually it's supposed to come with a blue lid, but yeah. There's the 95 print, which...
But this is printed on December 16th, 1994, so this is an early print. Even though it came out on March 3rd, 1995.
But yeah, and also seeing that front cover, like, you know, when they put that little mark on Cub Simba's forehead, reminds me of this, like, this the similar thing with the Harry Potter film franchise. Like, you know, at the very first Harry Potter, they put this thing on Harry Potter's forehead with the little bloody N on his forehead. I think they do the same thing with Cub Simba in this. Or just a similar thing, but just with prints from another animal. But anyway. But luckily on all other VHS, all other versions of Lion King, they don't do that. Even though they have to live with it in the actual film. And yes, we all know...
And here is this copy. This one has a different version of the Angels in the Outfield trailer as one of those previews.
Angels in the Outfield is... I don't think it's a bad Disney live-action baseball drama or comedy, whatever you call it. I mean, there are some emotional parts, but I mean, well, you know what I mean, because I don't have Angels in the Outfield on VHS nor DVD.
This one is printed on January 25th, 1995. And...
Okay.
I also have, before I show you the 2003 VHS, I also have...
Yeah? Just keeping my fingers crossed, like, that's what I want to do. Because like I said earlier, you don't have Emperor's New Groove on VHS or DVD.
I also have the Laserdisc release of The Lion King.
Oh yeah, another Laserdisc. Yeah, I don't want to say I hate Laserdiscs. I mean, they're cool, but I just don't like owning them in my position. Like,
And
I mean, they're the same size as a musical record, but anyway.
yeah, they're much larger in size compared to DVDs.
Well, yeah, they're the same size as an actual music record. Like, if you see those records at, like, music stores or even stuff that still sells records to this day, like in retro stores. But anyway. That's why I see Laserdiscs, but anyway.
Yeah, and... Here's the 2003 VHS that I'm going to be showing.
There's also the DVD counterpart, which I know is available in stores. That came alongside that.
I remember I used to watch the DVD when I was younger.
I mean, I know you probably don't have that DVD anymore. Well, you never had the DVD when you were a kid. you just remember watching it on DVD, just never had your own DVD copy. But yeah, there is the Platinum Edition 2003 VHS, which, yep, that's the version I probably get. Like, likely if I buy that one that has the sticker on the cellophane saying "Save this expired, save this much money" on a old school car, it might have the tape entirely in blue. It might have the tape entirely in blue. But
this one is entirely in black with a black lid.
I can see that because I know it probably came from another owner. But yeah, and anyway, pardon me. Yeah, and luckily, I think now we move on to, well, we gotta, before we get to Goofy movie, I don't know if you have Lion King 2 Simba's Pride or Lion King 1.5.
No, I don't. I just have the first Lion King.
I think this one you could watch after the first Lion King 1.5, where it goes still before towards the events of the first Lion King, but goes straight into Simba's Pride technically. So I guess if you wanted to watch them story-wise, I think you had to watch this one after the first Lion King and then go to Simba's Pride.
Yes.
Even though it's strange, this is the latest of the Lion King franchise to get on home media. Really straight to home media.
Swapped production and maybe have 1.5 come before Simba's Pride.
Well, I guess the reasons why is because if you watch because you don't have Finding Nemo on VHS, where that one, they say, like in the teaser trailer for this coming out on VHS, they say that, well, they can't use 2, there's already been a number 2 of Lion King. And it's like a halfway between the first movie and...
That trailer is actually shown on the 2003 VHS of The Lion King.
Oh yeah, that Platinum Edition you show, but here's Lion King 1.5, because I think, to watch it story-wise, I think I would say watch this one after the first Lion King before you get to Simba's Pride. Because luckily the Blu-ray counterparts, I would have to say that's just to be sure. But yeah, Lion King 1.5, that's all done with, so I guess we move on.
The thing about it is that it's also shown on the 2003 DVD of Finding Nemo, but disc 1 has no previews, while disc 2 features previews. And disc 1 is in widescreen, disc 2 is in full screen.
I mean, I like how they took some of the bonus features. But anyway, yep, we're done with Lion King, so now we move on. Now I'll show you Goofy movie, because I know this was released originally in April of 1995, before it got VHS.
Gold Classic Collection.
Yeah, I know you probably... I mean, you don't mind me showing it, because this is the only one of Gold Classic one I have, because I like how this one... well, okay. Goofy movie...
They're cool. I just don't fondly remember them, because I haven't really seen a lot of them.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've seen this movie before, correct? A Goofy movie.
I've seen an extremely Goofy movie, but I don't think I've seen the original.
Can you... One of my older sister, she loved this movie when she was little, Flicka. A Goofy movie. This was one of her favorite Disney films as a kid. And to this day, it's still her favorite. Even like both movies are funny. An extremely Goofy movie. Even like this one scene, I
have seen this film. I have not seen the sequel, but it's seen the first. That's what I meant to say.
It's okay. But yeah. And also this scene in a Goofy movie, I don't want to say it made me very unimpressed. Like, you know, this one scene where Goofy's taking pictures of toddler children, taking photos in his toy business. And in one scene, I think Pete made one of them cry. I mean, I had to say I had to make a sorry face, because you know how I felt sorry for that kid? Well, I mean, if you know that scene of a Goofy movie, because you don't have this film on any physical media format yet. Where, yeah, the DVD's unfortunately in full screen, where I can get the club exclusive Blu-ray where it's in widescreen.
Yeah, and...
Well, at least, like, this one happened a few minutes later into the film. Like, you know, when Max was called to the principal's office, and the principal at his high school called his dad on the phone. But at least I like how it still got Bill Farmer to voice Goofy. And like when he calls on the phone saying, "This is Goofy." I don't know what his business is called when he worked at that toy store, Goofy, in this movie. But anyway, well, you know it.
Now.
And then
we get to show you Pocahontas.
Released in
the 1996 Masterpiece Collection Edition. It was theatrically released June 23rd, 1995.
Yep, luckily we looked at the dates for when this and a Goofy movie originally came out.
And it was released on VHS on February 28th of 1996. Now,
but I would say that was a day before.
Pocahontas is very, very interesting because.
Oops,
pardon me, folks.
Oops.
I accidentally dropped some promotional material from the VHS, but that's okay. I will go get it later.
Just make sure not to crush it. But anyway, just be careful what you're doing. But anyway, there's the tape for Pocahontas. It looks identical. It looks on all VHS copies, but I know yours.
Well, some copies have a horizontal sticker label, of a white sticker label, but this one has an ink label. But this copy is very interesting because take a look at the print date. It is December 14th, 1995. And if you remember, I did a video on why some early copies of Pocahontas can be very confusing, because if you wound up with a copy printed on December 14th, 1995, you could either get version number 1 with the 1989 Walt Disney Classics logo, or version number 2 with the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo. I have checked this tape, and this copy is version number 1 with the 1989 Walt Disney Classics logo accidentally appearing.
That's strange. Like I said, that's strange how the Trust Thomas VHS from '92 has a Strain Home Video logo on the casing, but it still uses Strain VCI.
Well, the 1989 Walt Disney Classics logo appears by accident here because this was due to a mistake in the development of the tape. They accidentally put the Walt Disney Classics logo on the earliest printings, but at least later copies, they fixed it by using the Masterpiece Collection logo. But
I don't have. I also
this copy I had for like 4 years, because before I got this copy with the Walt Disney Classics logo, I had a string of bad luck because before I got this copy, because my other copies prior to this, they all had the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo, and then I've heard that there were early copies with the Walt Disney Classics logo, and luckily one of the sellers on eBay that I happened to ask if one of them had the Classics logo or not, luckily one of the sellers checked this tape before I bought it, and it had the Walt Disney Classics logo captured from this tape. And then when I saw the picture of the Walt Disney Classics logo, that's when I finally bought it.
Yep, Pocahontas. I think it's an okay Disney film, animated Disney film, in my opinion. I mean, it's strange. I was just saying, it's strange how Pocahontas appears in all Disney princesses and the Oh My Disney thing and Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think Pocahontas makes an appearance in that.
And here's another one which is version number 2. And here's this copy. It also has an ink label, but it's printed on February 10th, 1996. And this time, this does feature the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo this time, because this is version number 2, where it uses the Masterpiece Collection logo. Version 2 is much more common to get than version number 1.
And I know you don't have the sequel of Pocahontas, Flick, A Journey to a New World.
Yeah, but I do have the 96 Laserdisc release to show you next.
Yeah? Yep, there it is, the Laserdisc.
Here it is.
But like I said, yeah, you don't have the Pocahontas 2 yet. I'm probably never going to get it. I think we go next to Hunchback of Notre... Oh yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame comes after Pocahontas.
Yes, and then after that is Hercules.
Which, I don't know if you have Hercules.
I do not have Mulan, but after Hercules, I'm just going to go right to Tarzan, unless you do have Mulan.
I do not have Mulan, sorry. I do not have that or Tarzan or Hercules. I did have Hercules on VHS, but I got rid of that, unfortunately.
Is it because the tape got damaged?
No, it's just because I wanted to try out the film, but I ran out of space, so I had no other choice but to get rid of it. But yeah, here's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Originally, I'll just show on the
1997 VHS.
I still have that VHS, but I got rid of it because you know how there's this one store that would take VHS tapes for a good price. But yeah, here's the 2-movie collection of this and the sequel, just Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, which actually am surprised that Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 released in the same time as Lady and the Tramp 2 Escape's Adventure, but I think it came out after that. I think it got delayed to 2002. Because it got delayed to...
This is printed on January 7th, 1997. This came out on March 4th, 1997.
The same time as that, well, it came out the same year as that Bambi Masterpiece Collection VHS.
Except Bambi came out on February 4th, 1997 on VHS in the Masterpiece Collection.
So those came a month apart in that same year, but yeah. And also have the 2-movie collection with the original and the sequel, which I gotta say the beginning of the first... The beginning wasn't too bad of the first Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I gotta say both movies are equally... I don't want to say they're both equally dark. Some people say Hunchback of Notre Dame, the first one, is one of the darkest Disney films they've ever seen. Even though it's strange, this one's rated G, but Black Cauldron...
I've seen this film before, and it was great.
Despite how dark it looked, I think you still like it, but yeah, I don't know if you're...
That was one of the darkest films at all, because even if it was the darkest film, it is still very enjoyable to watch.
I mean, you'll probably like Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, Flicka, if you've not seen it yet. I mean, it's worth getting on VHS if you want to give it a try. But luckily, but if not, just stick with the original.
And
like this one,
and also Laserdisc to show you, and then we'll just go right to VHS.
Oh yeah, I'm just showing this off because I know you haven't seen Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 just yet. But I gotta say, Hunchback of Notre Dame wasn't too bad, honestly. I think it was as entertaining as the first one.
This is the last Laserdisc from Disney that I have. This is the Laserdisc version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, I gotta say Quasimodo's a cool character. That's the guy right there. I first, when I saw him as a kid, I didn't know what he was to think of, honestly. But at least when I got used to his character, he was funny in the sequel, and he was sort of a heroic guy in the first movie, I gotta admit. So yeah. So now we're done with Hunchback. So I think we just skip right to
Hercules next.
Well, yeah, we go to Hercules next. That came out after Hunchback of Notre Dame, the first one.
Because it came out a year later. It theatrically released in 1997 and released on VHS February 3rd, 1998. Hercules.
Yep, that strange. I don't know why they could have just released this on VHS after the Toy Story release came out in 1996. I mean, it's strange how the movie's titled Hercules, and that's his name. That's the main character's name, Hercules.
Yes. Just like with
Just like-
Aladdin. That's
Well,
the main title character, and that's the title of the film.
Well, actually, for shortened Aladdin, he's just called Prince Ali.
But anyway, this film was actually made by the same people that made Aladdin and Little Mermaid. Print date's December 24th, 1997, even though this is a 1998 VHS.
Yeah, if they were just released this in late 97, that would have been easier to do, because, like, let's think about this. Every time they did it with a theatrical...
November 18th, 1997 or something?
Well, yep.
All right. The last animated feature that's two-dimensional I have.
Of the Disney Renaissance, or just in the last of the 90s overall?
And it's Tarzan. I have not seen this film, but the tape is damaged. I can't really play that because the tape is damaged. The audio works, but the video itself is very fuzzy.
Oh, there's a way to get a replacement tape if you want to get just like a new copy. Well, if you want to keep the clamshell, that is, but get a new tape, that is.
I might consider doing that.
You could find like a replacement of another Tarzan VHS copy if you see it at a store.
December 8th, 1999. This came out February 1st, 2000.
Actually, I will say this. Around the year 2000, a specific season of Sesame Street. I forgot to mention Sesame Street seasons, but we're going through the Disney Renaissance. So that was season 31, okay. So season 31 was what? Late 1999 through 2000 was season 31.
That was actually the very beginning of 2000, 2 days after New Year's Day. That's when season 31 premiered.
Okay, so that's the VHS you showed. But then now I'm going to show you this, Flicka, since I don't have the actual Tarzan film. I do have Tarzan 2, 2005 release.
And
which
there is one more tape that I could show you, even though it's not necessarily a film, but it's...
I mean, as long as it's 2D animated, I guess?
It is 2D animated. This is actually a VHS of the Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventures, Stormy the Wild Seahorse.
That's an interesting tape release. I've never seen any of those.
It's a 1993 VHS.
It came out.
The series came out and aired on television in September of 1992 and wrapped up in 1994. And it does have Jodie Benson reprise the role of Ariel, along with Kenneth Mars as King Triton, and the other cast members from the original Mermaid film that reprised the roles in this series. This features Stormy the Wild Seahorse and the Great Sebastian.
There's a tape right there.
This has Sorcerer Mickey next to the Walt Disney Home Video logo. Print date's January 5th, 1993. This came out February 26th, 1993, 1 month before Pinocchio was released on VHS and DVD. Released on one VHS and Laserdisc, excuse me, because DVDs didn't exist until 1997. So February 26, 1993, 1 month before Pinocchio came out on VHS and Laserdisc.
Actually, that's funny. Disney got DVDs in 97 after DVD was invented. And same with Sony. They got DVDs in 97. So I guess Disney and
Warner Brothers also got DVDs in 97 as well.
Surprisingly, DVDs, maybe kids of the 90s wanted to get DVDs, maybe. Anyway, now I'll show you the Tarzan 2 sequel, which I consider this a mid-quill, Flicka. You've not seen Tarzan 2, correct? It's got great actors in there. I gotta tell you this. Rest in peace to George Carlin and Estelle Harris, the one who was the voice of Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Stories 2 through 4. Estelle Harris, the voice of Mrs. Potato Head. She passed away in 2022, 2 years ago.
And George Carlin was back in 2008.
But at least Glenn Close is still alive. And yeah, I cannot believe now we lost the people who voiced Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Don Rickles in 2017, and Estelle Harris in 2022, the voices of Mrs. Potato Head, which actually surprisingly, she was able to survive and still do the role of Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story 4, Estelle Harris.
And yeah.
I do not know who voices Boy Tarzan in this movie, honestly. This takes place even before the events of the first Tarzan occurs, because Tarzan's still a little kid in this movie. I think it's Let's see, George Carlin. I think I think it's Zuger that George Carlin voices. I think that's the character that George Carlin voices.
I was able to get all the promotional stuff from the Pocahontas VHS off the floor back into the bed. Let me get the Pocahontas VHS one more time just to put the promotional stuff away. And
yeah. Well, like I said, I'm just showing you this flicker because I know this is the only Tarzan thing of sequel I have. Well, even though there's the movie that did come out in fall 2002, which is Tarzan and Jane, but it came out in theaters sometime in 2002. But like I said, this is dedicated to both George Carlin and Estelle Harris. But this movie, George Carlin voices Zuger. Yeah, it's Zuger. It's not. Yeah, that's the character George Carlin voices. But now I got this in order. George Carlin, Rest in Peace in 2008, and Estelle Harris in 2022. I don't know if they're gonna do some archival to bring back Estelle Harris to voice Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story 5. Because come on, we don't need a 5th Toy Story, Pixar. 4 is enough. But anyway, now we're all done with Tarzan. Well, you showed the VHS and I showed the DVD of Tarzan 2 because I don't have the DVD release of the first Tarzan. So I think we skip straight to Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Yep, released theatrically June 2002 and released on DVD.
December.
Yep, after
VHS and DVD in December.
Yep, after Monsters Inc. hit VHS and DVD. And Lilo and Stitch 2 Stitch Has a Glitch, which is also in this combo pack, released in sometime in 2005 after The Incredibles hit VHS and DVD. Yeah, can I just tell you?
There we go. Finally able to get all the promotional stuff back into the VHS case itself.
Yep, and here's I replaced one of my gray discs in my combo pack of Lilo and Stitch, where this one's colored, it has a sheen on it. Because I just wanted the disc from the 2002 DVD and this because I like how it has colorful artwork, and the Blu-ray disc is a simple blue. But this DVD of Lilo and Stitch 2 Stitch Has a Glitch, even though it's a reprint from 2013, it has the menu from the original 05 DVD. So maybe not a reason to replace this disc, even though I like the colored artwork better. Because I hate it when Disney animated films, they stop doing color artwork on their discs in the 2010s. Or even like the 2000...
Same thing with other companies.
Or even towards the late 2000s, they stopped doing artwork on their discs. But for some reason,
Universal stopped doing artwork on the discs as early as 2006.
That is so early for Universal. I guess Universal's was the first one to stop doing artwork on their discs. But anyway, Lilo and Stitch, I like the first Lilo and Stitch. I don't care for Stitch Has a Glitch too much. But anyway, yep, there's Lilo and Stitch 2 movie collection. And then next would be Brother Bear, released in late 2003 on DVD. Well, this is the 2 movie set from 2013.
It actually came out on VHS in theaters in late 2003, and it came out on DVD and VHS in 2004.
Well, that makes sense, but they released this in 2013 to commemorate the film's 10th anniversary for the first Brother Bear.
Yeah.
Yep. And Brother Bear 2 is from 2006. That came out straight to DVD in August 2006 before Fox Down 2 came out on DVD, straight to DVD, straight to home media. I keep saying home media because they did VHSs first, and then they went to DVDs, and then they did Blu-rays in the 2010s. But yeah, this one I don't even need to replace discs on this one, because this one, the menus from the 2004 DVD and 2006 DVD are on the files of these DVD discs, these gray discs. even if they boring artwork, they still have the menus from the original DVD. That's even like if you actually bought the Thomas Hop on Board Songs and Stories release, it still has the file from the original 2006 release on DVD of Sing Along and Stories.
No, I didn't get that. I got the original 2006 DVD. And the good news is, when we re-showed the Thomas collection, I do have the VHS tapes that were not released on DVD that I will show you for part 1 this time.
And my custom ones of those. But yeah, Brother Bear, that's all done. And along with the sequel, Brother Bear 2.
And for part 2, we will show the adventure pack this time.
Yep, here's Home on the Range, released in early 2004, and this released some point in summer of 04.
Yeah.
And yep, Home on the Range. Some people say it was a terrible box office bomb, but I don't care what they say. This was technically the last 2D animated Disney film they did, but for some reason they went back to doing it with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, which is next. And then
I do have that on DVD.
Maybe, yeah, we can show. Well, I'll just show the Blu-ray because I know you have the movie technically. But yeah, Home on the Range. I don't care what people think if it's bad. I think it's good in my opinion. Oh yeah. Now here's Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and the Three Musketeers. Yep, I know you're just talking to someone in the live chat, Flicka, but yeah, here Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and the Three Musketeers. I'll have to get the DVD the copy that looks like yours, but I'll just put it into the Blu-ray combo pack because, like I said, I like to see color discs. Like these ones, they share the same menu, and they share the same previews, but I like to have different stuff. But yeah,
I've seen this film before, and there's this one scene where Goofy goes, "Hopeless, failed," and then he breaks down crying hysterically.
Yes. Like I said it before, I don't think it's as annoying as Red's crying from First Cars or his very heavy crying in Cars 3, Red. Because like I said, you can't hear Red's crying in the second one, but he cries heavily once in Cars 3, Red. But in the first one, he did it twice. Now, like I said in my your voice impression stream back in 2022, which one do I think of Red crying more annoying in the first Cars?
Yeah.
I think it was, you asked me, it was either the first or the second one. Like, one of them towards the climax and one or the first one. Anyway, there's Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers. This one they gone back to doing 2D animated for some reason. Well, I think the next year they went 3D animated like Pixar.
And I wonder what comes after the Three Musketeers.
Something that's 2D animated, because I don't have the 2011 Winnie the Pooh film. One other one to wrap it up. Unfortunately, we'll end off with Princess and the Frog.
Yes, that was the very last full-length animated feature ever made, if you do not count the Winnie the Pooh.
Well, that goes with all the Pooh films, the 2011 Winnie the Pooh 2D animated movie. It's the only one of the 2010s? Like, actual, official...
Princess 2D animated feature film.
That is, yeah, don't count Anastasia, that's a 20th Century Fox film.
And don't count Thumbelina, even though this does have Jodie Benson doing the voice of Thumbelina. This is actually a film released by Warner Brothers and then later by 20th Century Fox.
Well, yeah, Princess and the Frog, this released theatrically in late 2009, and this is a 2010 Blu-ray release. Yeah, I think you'll get a kick out of this, Flicka. Like,
this is also the only 2D animated film to actually feature Randy Newman do the music for this film like he did in the Pixar films.
Yeah, that is the plus. I mean, because I didn't know Randy Newman could compose music for a movie from Disney that's just plain Disney 2D animated. Because he's done it for all the 3D animated Pixar films. But yeah, Princess and the Frog, I have the version with a digital copy. I just need to get a slipcover. At least I have the film that's good.
I have actually seen this film in the theaters. It was amazing.
Yeah, can I tell you that they did an amazing job for the actress who did Princess Tiana, that's her name. But in all her merchandise of plushies, her dress is green, but like on this cover, her dress is blue. Maybe that was intended when I don't know. I think Princess Tiana's a beautiful princess. I think she's as pretty as Ariel and Belle.
Yeah, and kind of like Jasmine as well.
But at least this one, Tiana doesn't have her stomach showing like Jasmine or Ariel. Or even like when Ariel is in her actual princess dress, she doesn't show her stomach. That's why I forgot to bring up with Little Mermaid 2 Return of the...
I think Jodie Benson also did the voice of Ariel briefly in Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm saying like in the sequel, Ralph Breaks the Internet, when they go to Oh My Disney... Well, only Vanellope does. Well, that's when we show the 3 animated Disney films. Well, that would start with Chicken Little, but I don't have Chicken Little on Blu-ray. Neither Meet the Robinsons, but I do have Bolt. But that'll be shown when we do the 3 animated Disney films. But I think, just to wrap this up, we will wrap up with Princess and the Frog. But yeah, don't.
And we hope you enjoyed this.
I guess that's my cue to... I guess that's the signal for me to leave, since you said... I think we're done.
Yeah. Stay tuned for part 3 coming up in 2 weeks, where we will look at the live-action Buena Vista and Walt Disney Pictures titles, along with 3 the animated features.
Yep. I guess that's my cue to leave. Thanks for having me on Flickr. I'll see you for that next 2 weeks.
Okay. See you then. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.